Hi, my name is Linda Hubbert, and I just want to do a YouTube follow-up video on the Ancestry and concerning some questions that was on a couple of my Ancestry DNA, various topics, comments that was made. And so I won't prolong the time. I'll go ahead and just maybe I'll start now from where I am and maybe go backwards because I don't know how this is going to go here. But anyway, I did my DNA ancestry, just kind of actually taking you from giving you a quick synopsis. Okay. Did my ancestry because I wanted to know more about myself, about my ancestors, like where I came from. Want to know what my DNA consists of. Also, I feel that knowledge is power, and you don't know yourself unless you know those that have come before you. And it was important to me to know my family history. I was working on my family tree. Truthfully, that's the reason I did it. I had no other agenda for doing the ancestry, even though there was some questionable things in my life at the time. Regarding my paternity, regarding who my father was biologically. It led to me, as a result of doing the ancestry, actually connected with a young lady, and it led to me finding out the identity information of who my biological father was. And that was a shock because I had no clue of the person that it turned out to be, that I never met this person or knew anything of this person before. But while it was an amazing shock, it's been a very touching thing, very emotional, because unfortunately, my biological father passed away, and I never did have the opportunity to meet him. And I had been searching for him and trying to find out who my biological father was since I was 13. But I did find brothers and sisters whom I have met, and we've bonded and come together. We talk periodically. Maybe not as much as I like, but we do. But I'm so happy for that chapter of my life being closed. But what I've learned here through doing the DNA, through Ancestry, and sharing that with you, is that there are a lot of people out there who've come in it, and they're looking for their family members, looking for their biological father, wanting answers. And one young lady reached out to me. She, was happy for me and congratulated me on, my doing ancestry and finding my biological father. And, it was very touching when I read her comment and everything. And lo and behold, I log onto my Ancestry account, and what do I find? I find a message from her, and she stated that she had commented on my Ancestry DNA video, and that it turned out that we were distant cousins. Who knew? But see, that's the thing that that's so amazing as well. We have so many family members and relatives, African Americans, that we don't even know. Not just African Americans, but many of us. But I'm particularly talking about the African American because, unfortunately, we're not able to go back more in many instances. Many of us, Some are more fortunate to be able to go back further, but in most instances, I would say maybe 5 generations. If you can go back past that, you're really great. But I kind of hit some roadblocks, and still working on it. But I've made a lot of headway and progress on the ancestry. But anyway, back to the young lady. She stated that she saw the video, and turns out that we're related because she searched our name, and turns out that we were distant cousins. And she also wanted to solicit my help to find her biological father. And okay, while I'm no expert, and I definitely made that known, but I was definitely willing to help her any way I can with the the knowledge that I had acquired through my doing my ancestry, and my DNA and everything, and just share with her what led to me finding my father. So I know you start with the high numbers, start with the one and then you can kind of decipher and figure out maybe if they're related to you or not. Thankfully, Ancestry has made a lot of progress now, because they can tell you whether the person that you have your matches, whether they're related to your mother's side, maternal side, or paternal side, which is the father's side. But we didn't have that at the time. So we didn't know actually how we were related, which wasn't really the issue. The main thing was trying to assist her in any way that I could. And, she shared her story with me, and it was extremely touching. She cried, and I cried too, because I understand how it feels. And to want to find your biological father, and how frustrating, it can be, how hurtful it can be, wanting answers and not being able to acquire those answers or get those answers, from your mother, from anyone, But anyway, I just encouraged her, tried to, to help. And it's like a needle in a haystack when you don't have anything to go on. It truly takes the power of God, the favor of God, and His grace and timing and everything. So I encouraged, the young lady that reached out to me. And I told her, I said that you're going to find your father. I said, you're going to find him. It was earlier this year when we connected. I said, by the end of the year, you're going to find your father. And we communicate periodically. She called me very recently, and lo and behold, she did manage to find out who her biological father is now. Unfortunately, he passed away, and she was able to connect with a young lady. Turns out, it was confirmed through actual DNA test that it's her biological sister. And that just so blessed my soul, blessed my heart. The fact that she was able to find the answers and find what she was looking for. I know and understand that people have different views on Ancestry and the Ancestry DNA. And so the views that I share, it may not be your beliefs or factual to you, but I definitely know and believe that these results from the ancestry, although they are pretty much guesstimates, and it puts you on the road that leads to the street that you're trying to actually get to. They may not be, totally exact, but they are definitely an accurate account and way to get answers and get the things that you're searching for. In terms of ethnicity, I've had some posts where people have gave various comments on where African Americans came from and who we are and so forth. I'm going to read some of the comments here from some of the previous DNA posts that I did and shared here with you, and just respond to some of these comments, questions, or whatever, what have you not, that are on here. I have made, again, a lot of leeway. I've recently located a 5th through 8th cousin from Nigeria. And that was one of the things I wanted to do, was to trace my ancestry back to Africa. And it's really been really mind-blowing, truthfully, that I connected with a 5th through 8th cousin. I reached out to her by phone, and well, actually through Messenger, and she responded back, and we exchanged numbers. She actually lives here in the United States now, but she grew up in Nigeria, and actually she's related to me on my father's side based on the new Ancestry, the way that they determine the side that you're on, related to. Here reflects on that she's related to me on my father's side. So I'm not sure how I'm related to her, actually. But anyway, so we're planning to actually meet, and it just takes me a step closer. Now, some people say that, okay, we're not from Africa, even though our DNA points there. But while we may not be from Africa, I believe that, well, my ancestors was in that land. They were there, and that's what my DNA shows here in terms of my ethnicity. If my DNA is from anywhere else, Israel or anywhere else, then it kind of seems as though maybe that would show on there, but I don't know. I don't. So if for the ones who believe differently, if you could tell me or explain to me about that, okay? Because I don't get that, and I don't understand that. However, what I do understand and know, that we're not from this country. I understand that we are not, because no one is from this country except for the indigenous people who were here before us, the Indians. And I believed, it was my belief based on what I was told, that we had family members, ancestors that were Indian, but turns out we were not. But anyway, let's get to some of these questions here. Let's see. One of the videos I did here. Okay, this is a pretty interesting one here. It says, my dad has 6 children from 5 different women. I remember one of my brothers having a baby sister that looked exactly like my dad's family. That brother and his sister won't have anything to do with my father or his family. Since I do not have any biological children, I do not have to worry about incest. But I would like to know for myself. A lot of Black people who thought they derived from Indian ancestors were actually derived from European ancestries by way of slave masters. Unfortunately, that's a sad truth. Many of us have been told that many African Americans from the diaspora, and probably maybe some other parts of the diaspora as well, we've been told that we are of Indian, that we have Indian ancestry or Indian blood in us and everything. And it is true because of the features of Indians. And some are our ancestors, even some of us, and now even, You know, it may high cheekbones and color and hair and different things. We're told that because of those, um, for those reasons, but truthfully, it does appear that this young lady is correct, that we are not um, Indian, but it is truthfully because of the European uh, DNA that was within our ancestors, um, and within our family members, and it's also within us. Um, it's nothing, of course, that we can do about anything that's already happened. It's fixed. It is what it is, and we have to accept things, even though we know how things derived, but we have to embrace that, the difference in our ethnicity, because it's who we are and it's a part of us, and we don't get to pick and choose what our ethnicity is. Where our ancestors derive from, they derive from many places because they were sold, bought, and traded, and they produce offsprings in many parts of the world. So that's why I have 11 different ethnicities, and on average, most African Americans, people from our diaspora, DNA consists of, on an average of 20. Mine is at 11%. So, but it could be 20% or higher based upon certain ethnicity and family history. I guess the further back you go, the higher the number in terms of the non-African American, non-African ethnicity is concerned. But anyway, moving right along here. I see you have someone here says, run your raw data via GEDmatch to get more accurate breakdown of your results. You do look very much like the people of Benin, Togo. The Native American most likely was a relative who was mixed race, not native. Native American kept African as slaves. Very few mixed with the African slaves. Okay. And that's the thing with America, with African Americans. We can look like many ethnicities, truthfully. And it's because of our ancestors going to these different places. Benin, am I saying it right? Benin or Benin, Togo. It is a part of my my numbers in my ancestry, a small part of it. So who knows whether or not, in terms of the Native Americans who came from that area. So, I don't know actually what they look like, but I know my African, a lot of my African brothers and sisters, particularly from Togo and Benin, or those who from that region, they would probably be more familiar with that. Okay, I have a comment here that says you did the wrong DNA for African ancestry. You did the ancestry DNA, not the African one. The African one would give you more of the maternal line. That's something that I would like to do, the African ancestry. However, it was more cost economical for me at the time to do the ancestry DNA. So eventually, hopefully the price will go down some here, and I will do the African ancestry. And when I do, I will gladly share those results with you. But I have not taken the African Ancestry yet. So again, it's definitely on my list of things that I want to do. I'm going to, let's see, look back here. I'll go back 2 years now here and read some of the comments here that I have. And some of these comments are like very interesting. I have responded back on a few comments from some of the pages here. So I have quite a few comments. So I'm going to see which ones would be probably a good one to share here. This one person states here, and this was the video that I did stating that how I found, how I discovered and located my biological father through Ancestry. One person says, that is so cool that you had the courage to reach out and find your family and be able to develop a relationship with your step siblings. How rewarding. I don't consider my siblings to be step siblings. I know most people say half brother, half sister. But me personally, I don't believe in half brothers, half sisters. Sometimes you have siblings with on your mom's side, and you may have like different fathers. But do you call those siblings your half siblings? No, you do not. You call those your brothers and your sisters. But why is it that when it's the father, on the father's side, then oftentimes is referenced as my half brother or my half sister? No, they are my brothers and my sisters. Even my sister's brother and sister, who's not actually related to me genetically wise, they're my brothers and sisters also. And I love them dearly just as much. And so I don't believe in getting caught up, maybe that is a fact in a sense, because we do get 50% of our DNA from our mother's side and 50% from our father's side. But I wasn't raised up to where I believe in identifying with the half brother, half sisters. And truthfully, it just makes things easier for me, because my brothers and we have different fathers. So I have 2 brothers, and that's another story. Okay. But I just want to say that's a common thing in the African American community. It's not unusual that to have, the same mother but different fathers, and vice versa. Okay. But everyone is, entitled to their expression, of their belief or how they view things. And like I said, I understand the facts of it, the generics of it, but it's just my point of view. I have someone that states here, and I didn't see this one here, but it says, beautiful family reunion story. May the Lord continue to bring any missing pieces together. This sounds like a book or a movie. Eventually, it will be a book. That is my hope and my dream, to share this, with the world and to tell my story. So I plan on doing this in 2 different ways. And so it's something I will talk about later here. I don't know about a movie, even though I was told my life could be a movie. And I believe it could, but so could many other people. Okay. but something to consider. I see another one here that says, it's wonderful you have sisters you didn't know you had. I lost my sister a few years ago, and I'm sorry you didn't get to meet your father, but you have a new world now. And I do have a new world. While my heart does ache, and, because I would never get to know my biological father and have a relationship with him. I just lived through my sisters, my brothers, and my family who had a relationship with him to tell me things and tell me stories and maybe tell me how I look like him and how I identify with him. And so I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for that. And I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of your sister. All my life I wanted a sister because I was the oldest child and the only girl. I had two brothers that I grew up with. So we're stair steps in age. And I always, always, always wanted a sister that was my age, like so bad. And I'm so blessed to have a sister. I'm still the big sister by 7 months, but nevertheless, I'm still the big sister. And I have 3 younger sisters. And I'm so glad for them, and I love them. And of course, sistership is something new to me, and I'm still growing. We're still learning, bonding, as we just go on through with our regular life and everything. We take time out, we do talk, and we do get together every now and then on different occasions, and we come together. And so I really, really love that. I do. And it's just so amazing at the age of 53 to have a sister that's 20. She's younger than my biological daughter. She's younger than my daughters, but she is their auntie. And my daughters, they was like, well, Mom, we will not call her Aunt Kaya, because she's younger than us. And I said, it doesn't change the fact that it's your auntie, but you don't have to call her Aunt Kaya if you don't want to, but she's still your auntie. So I just kind of laugh at that, but my little sister, she is so amazing, so amazing. Let's see here. I have someone here that says, that's amazing, Linda. Thank you so much for sharing your exciting story. Linda, if I had no clue who my parents are and I'm not even adopted, can I find my biological parents without a tree? If I had no clue who my biological parents are and I'm not even adopted. Well, it's kind of strange here, because if you don't have a clue who your biological parents are, you would have had to have been adopted because you would have had to be raised by someone else. But maybe you weren't. Maybe you were raised by other family members, and that's what you mean by you weren't adopted. You would have to communicate with your family and try to get details from your family, your close family members and people who know your mom or any friends, your parents, anyone that was associated with them. You can find them without a tree, but you would need some source of information. You would need to be able to get some information here. So that would require you maybe doing Ancestry, considering that maybe you have other siblings out there on your mother and father's side, or family members that can actually help you here. But you can do it without a tree. But again, it will take family members who knows your mom, friends, or someone that knows your mom, your parents, or someone, or considering taking the Ancestry to kind of help you connect and fill in some of this information. So you don't have to have a tree, but you'd have to have someone or match with some people who had some trees to kind of help guide you or help you fill in your tree, because that's been the case for me. Like I have family members I don't know, but they have a lot of information in their tree, and I may know some of the people. Oftentimes I do know some of the people, but maybe not all of the people. But that the linking of the trees or those people to your people, because you have to use the people, I would say, that's closest to you, and then you start going out further. And the more people, the further you go out, the more people you're going to connect with who are related to those people, who are related to the people who are closest to you, who's related to you. So I would say, yes, you definitely can find family without a tree, because the purpose of actually doing Ancestry helps you to establish a tree. So that's a good way and a good start here for you. Okay, I have another comment here that says, congratulations on finding your family, and thank you for sharing your story. I have a very similar story journey and will share it on YouTube. Hearing you talk gives me confirmation that I need to share my story too. I definitely want to share and want to encourage you out there to share your story, because someone needs your story. Someone needs to hear your story. Someone needs to hear about your journey. There's so many people out there who don't know who their family members are. So we'll say that first of all, again, because we're only able to go back so far. And there's some people who don't know who their father is, biological father. And there's some people who don't even know who their biological mother is, as you can see here. So I definitely would say share your story. And every story reaches someone that hears it. So my story may not reach someone, or someone may not click on my video, but someone may click on your video, and it will encourage them to reach out and to be proactive, to do their ancestry, to tell their story, to do their family tree. Knowledge is power, and unfortunately, when you embark on these journeys, you never know what may happen. Again, the purpose of my doing the Ancestry truly was to find information on my mother's side. I wanted to find out about my great-great-grandmother, because I didn't have any information on her. And I wanted to be able to fill in some other gaps. And I was able to do that. But I'm kind of stuck again, and I'm going to be working on that, because I have another source that I can use. I think it's Family Search or Family Tree. And so I'm going to use different avenues and different sources here. So I'll share some more about that as it goes along and as things move along here. But definitely tell your story. No one can tell your story. Even though the story may be similar, it's not your story. Only you can share your story. And you can touch someone, you can reach someone, and make a difference to someone in sharing your story. Next, let's see. Okay, one here says, do you have any tips on how to locate my children's father, he used an alias. Doesn't matter which alias he used, okay? I would say Ancestry. Again, Ancestry or Jed match. Because, you know, if you have your children to do Ancestry, you can link their DNA to other relatives to help you to find them. And Jed match, oftentimes when people, I don't know if he's using alias to say that he has maybe some sort of history or anything criminally, but if he's, you know, if he has a history, criminally or otherwise, any type of history, or if he's related to anyone, which I'm sure he is, then it will definitely aid you and assist you and your child in locating the biological father of your child. So I would say just have your biological child to do the Ancestry DNA. So you could do it for them and put the information there and go through the matches and, you know, do the homework to help lead into finding the biological father of your child. See one that says, blessings to you and your beautiful family. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, here's one here. Let's see. What a wonderful story. Persistence and hard work has certainly paid off. Yes, it has. What is truly amazing to me is that you are 50 years old. I have guessed maybe 30 something. All the best to you. Now, this is so amazing and funny at the same time to me because I get that all the time. People thinking that I'm in my 30s, in my particularly late 30s. And I'm not. I have a daughter 30 and 32. So it's no earthly way I could be that young. But thank you. Thank you so much. It's just generics from my mother and definitely from my father. And we definitely look younger and as we age. And so I'm aging, as they say, gracefully. So it's just all praise to God and to my mother and my father, to their genes and their DNA. Here's one here that's comment that says, my story resonates with yours. My mother doesn't have much info about my dad either. I am hoping for the Ancestry DNA test. I'm hoping the Ancestry DNA test reveals my family on my father's side. It will definitely reveal relatives on your father's side, whether it's a distant cousin or someone. It depends on who takes the DNA test. So you may have to consider doing the JED match, downloading a raw DNA to JED match. You can also download it to MyHeritage, and you can try doing a variety of ones if you don't have any close matches of people that you don't know, because the ones that's closest to you would know them. And if you don't know them, then that's more of a hint as to the link of your biological father. Now, sometimes there's instances where there are just no very close matches. Like, seriously, I've had people, like in particular the young lady who asked me if I could help her. Like, she had like no matches, all her matches was mostly on her mother's side. And I how unbelievable was it? But it was true. But obviously there was some matches down in there. And so When they start saying mother side, father side, that helped. But when they're so far down, the matches are so far down in there, so much distant, it is a little more challenging. And you can reach out to Ancestry, and there's people who actually that can help you, and they do this, and this is part of what they do, and that's one of the ways how the person was able to actually end up finding their biological father was through these people helping her. So you can reach out to Ancestry, and I'm sure maybe they can let you know how to go about maybe even getting help, possibly if it's necessary. Ooh, I am so sorry, YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this thing up here. It's getting a little late here. I'm going to do this last one, and it says here, what were the percentage as half siblings? Well, the DNA results was 99.6%. I know I'm not saying that. Well, yeah, I think that's right. But the results were so high, considering that we were half siblings. So, the DNA test, they separate again. The mothers, have your DNA, the side from your mother, 50% for your mother, 50% for your father. So I'm assuming out of the 50% from of our father, that it was almost like as high as it could get for half siblings. We were told that, well, my sister was told actually that it was a chance our DNA results. I'm so sorry. But our DNA results could be inconclusive because we had, different mothers and we were not full siblings. But amazingly, it came back extremely high. And when I do tell you, I can see like how we are, because we are actually so much alike. For us to be half siblings is like amazing. We do look a lot alike, and we've had a lot of the same experiences. We have the same allergies. We have a lot of the same likes and dislikes, and we do a lot of like odd things. It's just so amazing. We're both creative. It just goes on and on and on. So I just want to ask you to to like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know if this is something you want me to continue to follow up with you on. I definitely would like to, but I want to know if this is something you are interested in. And if it's inspirational, encouraging, or what are your thoughts on Ancestry, on this video, and the videos, any other videos that I have did here on the Ancestry? I want to know, has it impacted you, encouraged you, or has it made a difference? And I hope that many of you are encouraged to go on and to do your Ancestry, through whether it's through 33andMe or MyHeritage or African Ancestry. I just want to encourage you. Knowledge is power. Your history is everything, because it's your foundation. And many of our foundations is faulty because it was not properly laid. If you don't have the proper foundation, and as you continue to build, then everything that's built on that will begin to crumble until you stabilize that foundation. So you don't want to have everything crashing down on you. So start by knowing where you came from, knowing your ethnicity, try to talk to your family members. For those who have family members that are alive, talk to them and ask questions about your family history. Write this down. A lot of times we take our family for granted, and especially when we're younger, and it may not matter to us as much. But at some point in time, as you get older, you are going to want to know this, or even your children are going to want to know this or ask questions. And if you don't get the information from your elders, from the older ones, your older family members, it's going to die with them, and you won't have this information. So again, I know that it's a possibility that we could have come from somewhere else outside of Africa and migrated to Africa. But for the most part, I know that my ancestors lived in Africa, that a lot of my ancestors going way, way back. So therefore, my ethnicity reflects that, and that's what I choose to identify with, what my ethnicity says or reflects that's inside of me. And I will be taking my first trip to Africa this February to visit a good friend of mine in Ghana, which I have some Ghanaian DNA in me as well. And, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of who I am. And I want to tell you, be proud of who you are. A lot of things can come as a shock when you're doing the ancestry, when you're doing these ancestries, DNA, and some things you thought you may have known, you may find that it wasn't accurate. It's not the truth. So you kind of have to be prepared if you choose to do this. You will find maybe brothers and sisters, maybe fathers, maybe mother. You'll find a lot of things out here. So a lot of family dirt, different things. But you have to be prepared for this. What they say, expect the unexpected, okay? So again, thank you so, so much. And I look forward to hearing back from you in your comments, and I will respond and comment back, okay? And see you next time. Okay.